Hi and welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today I am going to be showing you how to take the brand new Artistly 5, the brand new version, and start creating from some of your old prompts of your favorite images, some adult coloring books. You can do children's coloring books too, but we're going to concentrate on the adult ones, and I'm going to show you which feature to use and how easy it's going to be for you to put these together. And we're going to do a whole coloring book. So let's get started. So right now, let's say this. Okay, up until this point, Artistly was trying to create a way for us to do coloring books, and they did fairly well, other than the images always were a little bit shaded, and they also had a generator that basically tried to lay it out. It was good in one respect, but we needed a little bit more freedom to create our own thing. So it's not that hard to put a coloring book together. It's harder to get the images. So anyway, as you can see here, I'm inside Artistly, and for those of you that don't know how Artistly works, let's just pop out. When you log in, it's going to give you this screen, and there's lots of things like tutorials and updates and things like that. Well, now you're going to click on Create Design, and then you have these two little robots, and we're not going to be playing with Advanced today. We're going to be inside the Fast Image Designer because a lot of things live under that umbrella. And so what we're going to do is, I'm just going to go back to my personal designs. Okay, so this is a really cute little coloring book, or the start of a coloring book, which would be more for a little girl or a child. And basically, the cool thing is, it created this in just a few, basically it took seconds. Now it's not always that fast, but it was pretty fast. It does 10 sheets at a time. And so 10 pages. So like I said, we're going to talk about adult coloring books, but what I want you to understand is right from the beginning, there are two different ways you can create coloring books right now inside Artistly 5. So if you look inside the AI image designer here, you're going to see that there's lots of different categories. Okay, so if you're new to Artistly, or even if you've had Artistly for a while and you're just now kind of beginning to unpack what's inside version 5, you're going to want to make sure that you click on all these things to see what they've moved around different places, okay? So if you go into this AI Design Agents, you're going to see a coloring page. Okay, this is where you can do 10 images at a time. And this is where I created these images. Now, what I noticed was my prompt, which was for an adult fairy, and let me just show you my prompt I'm working, or my images that I'm working with today. These are my fairies here, and let me show you the prompt, which I'm also going to show you how you tweak it, because you will have to go back in and in most cases tweak it just a tiny bit in order to get the coloring feature to work properly. So as you see here, it's a fairly complicated, it's a forest fairy. This is what created these little cartoon ones here. So this is what happens when you use that feature. When you use the coloring, the one that is, let's go back up here, the one that is inside here, the coloring page, when you use this one and you type in your prompt, the AI is going to then look at that prompt and it kind of replaces it with what it wants to do, or how it interprets that it wants to create a coloring page. So for me, I think this one is going to be geared more for children's storybooks if you want to do them up really quickly. that's been my experience with using that. And we'll go back to the personal designs and I'll just show you what I mean. If you see here, you see that it changed totally what my prompt was and kind of created its own thing, interpreting and giving, you images to do a little fairy coloring book here. Okay, which is fine. That is absolutely fine, and it can still be used, but I want more control. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is going into AI Art Illustrator. We have another feature called Coloring Page inside these styles, and then when I put my fairy in here, we're going to make a couple of prompts, and then we're going to see what the difference is. So what we want to do when we're looking at your older prompts is we want to look for anything that would be color oriented. So for instance, wet on wet watercolor, we want to remove that because that is referencing color, and we don't want to confuse the feature, the AI. So I'm just going to kind of scan across, and anywhere I think, like for instance, muted antique gold and aged bronzes, we're going to remove that. Okay, so most of the other stuff in this particular one, I think will be fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose 4 because we can do 4 images at a time with this one, and then we're going to generate the images. And then hopefully we're going to have some pretty coloring book images here. And I didn't change my aspect ratio. The next ones I will. Okay, so here we have a very clean coloring book image, and it is for the adult coloring book. So we could use these. I'm going to go back in though, and I am going to actually regenerate, and then because I'm going to go in now and I'm going to go for I think I'm going to do 20 images, because that way we can work it up fairly quickly. We can get inside of the coloring book inside Canva and go ahead. We're going to do 4. We're going to change it now to this 3-4. I think that'll work up good on an 8.5 by 11 size, which I know different people use different sizes, and some use the square. Do the 8.5 by 11 just because I think that's just simpler. Most people have a home printer that will easily print out that size coloring sheet. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go back, and we're going to okay, so we've got some really cute fairies here. I'm going to go into one of my folders because I'm going to go back and get the original prompt that I had. Let's see, golden fairy, and I am going to, those are my older ones. I'm going to go to these right here, and I'm going to choose one to go ahead and do our cover with. I'm also going to do some different orientation. I like her. I think she would be pretty for our cover. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over into Canva, and we're going to upload that image because we want the first image to be color, so I can make it really pretty. And I'm going to drag her over here, and okay. And then the name of our coloring book is pretty long, so I've already got it typed in here. Okay. So what we're going to do is Forest Fairy Coloring Book for adults. And we're going to come back. This, I haven't removed the background yet, but we're going to come over here and I'm going to paste this. Right here. And I'm going to play with the fonts a little bit to make it really pretty and make it kind of fit. Let's try that one. That's kind of... Okay, I think that one will work. Okay, so we've got our Forest Fairies Coloring Book for adults. We're just going to kind of... I want to say this, if you really want to be very creative, I mean, anybody can spit these things out. It's what you're going to do, that you're going to add your own human elements and look to it, that's going to make all the difference in the world of the perception, and whether you're just spitting out something that AI did or if you're actually putting in a creative contribution to it. So I want my things to look really, you know, amazing. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to actually start another Artistly just so I can flip back into. So we're going to do this. We're going to go here. I'm going to go create from prompt, and I want just a wood textured background, and I want it to be that same dimension. I want 4 of them to choose from, and let's just see what we come up with. And I'm just playing around now because that's kind of what you do when you're creating a product. And there we go. So we've got some wooden textures. Let's see what we think. Actually, I like this one, so I think we're going to do this. And I'm thinking about making this, you know, a whole series, so that's kind of how I am setting it up. That actually looks like corrugated cardboard, but I kind of like it. So what I'm going to do is try this. So I'm going to try putting this behind here and just see how it looks. Let's position it all the way to the back. Okay. And then we're going to background remove her. Ooh, that's kind of cute. Okay. So what we're going to do is go in with a box now. And we're going to put her in. And then we'll just see. I'm not sure I want the background, but I thought I did at the beginning. I'm going to do away with that. Let's just do away with that. Let's just keep her there. Okay. We've got the background removed. I actually like that better, so we're just not going to do that. Okay. Now we're going to go and put the Enchanted Escapes Volume 1. And we're going to paste that in. Not sure why it ended up in. Okay, so Enchanted Escapes Volume 1. I'm going to put that there, and we're going to center it. Excuse me. I'm going to center this one. It's already centered. Okay, so that's looking pretty. Now what we may do is, let me just search over here. Now when I'm using anything from Canva, I'm always using the free ones. So I'm going to search for a border or a frame, and then I'm going to, okay, so frame, and we want graphics, and we want to go over here, and we can actually, I have Pro, so that allows me to separate these and everything. So I'm going to look and see if maybe there's some little something else that we could kind of pull in. I don't know if there is. And if I had a lot of time, I would just go and make something inside. Let's try this one. I would try something, you know, to get my own version or whatever. Well, that would have worked, but I really like it better without. So we're just going to leave it without. We'll be able to move along better and faster anyway. Okay, so now we're going to go back in, and we're going to come here, and we're going to start downloading. And the really cool thing now is we actually can download in bulk. So that'll let us go ahead and work with these. Let's just go ahead and download those. And then I'm going to go back in while these are downloading. I'm going to go over here into this one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one of these pretty ladies, and I'm going to grab this prompt so that we can have a little variety, some sitting, some standing, that sort of thing. And then we're going to go into this one here. And I'm going to go right over here. And we're going to paste it in. Okay, so here we're going to remove this again and go remove this muted here. There's only a little bit of difference between those, but you want to. And I did not make them the way I should. I didn't change the aspect ratio. That's okay. Regenerate. That's not the way I wanted them to look. Okay, so now we're going to change it. 24. Okay, let's see what we get now. That's better. So now we have the right size and everything. So we're going to go back in and generate a few more. Just 4 more. And then we have 2 of the others. I'm going to go in and it's very cool to be able to do this. These are going to be really pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in to this one. And I'm going to find, let's see, which ones do we have now? We have the standing ones, and then we have the sitting ones. Let's do one up on the, let's do this one on the stump. This version. Okay, see if we can get some on the stump. Okay, back in here. Uh-oh. I'm not sure what that did, but it did not, I did not get all of my prompt in there. Let's go back to my golden fairy. Okay, let's do her. There we go. Too many tabs open. Okay, wet on wet. We remove that. Swing casually. And tree stop. Move this. Okay. Now I want to change this 2, 3, 4 and 4 and generate. And then I think we'll be able to go in and compile our coloring book together. Now, one thing that you can do, I mean, when you're doing coloring books, think about how you can elevate them and you can make them into something that everybody's not doing. Oh yeah, these are cute. All right, so now we can go in, we can do bulk download for these, and we'll have enough to do our, skip those, and then we already have those. Okay, so we're gonna download those. And we'll go into Canva. But what I was saying was, you want to make sure that maybe you do something different. So think about a way that you can pair and do something different. Can you add some quotes? Can you add some motivational phrases? Can you add a story? How can you elevate your coloring book where it's more than just a bunch of images for people to color? Can you do an inspirational one? Can you do one with ideas? If you're doing like for professions, like if you were going to do an adult coloring book and it was maybe going to be comically centered around, you know, funny office scenes or something, you know, could you put some little office quotes or something in there, or maybe even some productivity ideas or tips? You know, think outside the box, and the way that you set your store apart and the way that you set your products apart is to not do whatever, to stay within the trends, but then to elevate the product and try to do a little something that everybody else is not doing. So we're going to go here and extract that. And then we're going to go back and we're going to do this one and extract it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go into our Canva, and I'm going to go ahead and just add some pages. I wanted it to be right around 20 pages, so we need 21 slots here, including the cover. Okay, so I've got all those added in, and here we go. Okay, so now we're going to do our upload. So we're going to upload our files. Let's go into this one, and we're going to upload. Let me show you a little trick here. This is going to help us keep things. Go into projects, go into folders, go into create folder, and then let's do our fairy coloring book. Let's do enchanted fairy, enchanted forest fairy coloring book. Okay, so this is how I help to keep my stuff straight and kind of all together. So we've got this folder now, and it says upload files. Okay, we can do it that way, or we can upload folder, and we can upload, you can do one folder at a time. So we can upload this whole folder inside that main Enchanted Forest Fairy coloring book folder. That way everything's in there really neat and easy to get to. If we want to go back in, everything will kind of be together. It's not spread all over everywhere. So here we have the first one. So let's go in, and now let's go here and hit the wrong thing. Upload folder again. We're going to go here, and we're going to do this one. So it'll be really easy for us to get to. And as you know, I'm doing this as a demonstration, so I will probably go back and tweak a little bit, maybe add some things to make my coloring book ready for listing on Etsy. But, you know, you can, I don't want it to take forever. I just want to show you how to do it. So, if you noticed, I was able to drag and drop this in. We're going to go to the next page, and let me show that to you again, just so you can see it. Now, this one, if you drag and drop it, you're not going to be able to do it. So you're going to have to kind of size it to the page. However you want it. I think I'll make her a little bit smaller so that I can get all of it in there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And let's go to the next one. And she fits really good by dragging and dropping her. Be sure and always look and make sure, you know, there's no really weird artifacts or anything. So, now this one, I'm not sure if she'll, yep. Well, almost. Okay. We're going to need to make her go in just a teensy tiny bit. Now, they may have a slight background to them, so if you want it to be on solid white and you don't want the odd things, then you'll want to remove those backgrounds as well. I haven't been removing the backgrounds, but you can do that. Now, something else that you can do is you can run it through Artistly, or you can run it through another background removal where you can bulk do one, which is probably what I will do. Whoops. Let's drag this one. Now this one right here to me looks like it has some weirdness, so I'm going to eliminate that one. And when I do that, I do this, and then I delete it. So I move it to trash, so I don't get confused later if I'm doing something. So we're going to do this one instead. Okay. But it's really easy, and I think you're really going to enjoy this feature of Artistly. And it's going to make making these coloring books, whether they're for kids or for adults, a lot of fun. But keep in mind that if you use the other coloring option, that it is going to change your prompt up quite a bit, and it's going to make it where it's harder for you to get the adult out of it. I haven't really played around with it to see if there's a tweak that I can do, and I'll come back and make another video if there is. But, okay, I think I've shown you enough about how to put it together inside Canva. And you'll want to go back, like I said, and remove the backgrounds so that you don't have a little, you can't see off-white or anything like that behind it. And so I want to go back in, though, and I want to really talk to you about and show you some other options. Like, for instance, I did a video yesterday and I did little pigs, and that was really cute. But like, for instance, I've got these little trees here. Let's see if we can find something else that would be interesting to do. Okay, so let's try this one. Let's try doing our enchanted tree house, because this also would be really cool for me to do as a part of even that fairy pack. Let's see. Let's go up and see how that would work. Just to give you some different perspective of different prompts you can use. Featuring warm textured pastel fairy dreamscape. No, we don't want that. So we're going to remove that. We're going to do this, and then we're going to, let's try this one. And hopefully it will produce a pretty fairy tree. Those are very cool. Now that right there, right along, it has its own little border, little background. Let's pull this in. I'm just going to pull it into my fairy one just so that we can look and see what it looks like. So cool. Okay. So here we're going to go back. We're going to go right here and upload files, since I'm only doing one. And I'm going to do this little tree house here. Now, I need to work with my aspect ratio to get it just right, but isn't that pretty? If I can get that border, let's go back and see if we can do that. Get that border, like change the aspect ratio. Okay, let's look at it and see if we can select one that is a little bit closer to what we need. Let's do this one and do 4 of those. I really like the trees. The trees would be so much fun to color. Do you see how much major potential this has? Oh my goodness. It is amazing. Okay, so let's do this one. Let's download it. Okay. Let's upload it here. Let's see. I think this is closer to what we need to get the little frame in there. Play with your aspect ratios until you kind of get it where you can get what you want in there. A little bit of that frame. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. That is so cool. Okay, so let's go play again and see what else I've got in my folders that could be really super cute. Let's see, frames floral. I have all kinds of things hiding. Let's see what else. Oh, sailboats. Sailboats might be cute. I don't know why I just downloaded it, but anyway, I did. Okay. This is a very simple, very simple one. So let's see. Let's see if we can use that one in the other designer, which is here, and do like 10 sailboats. It doesn't really mention any color, so let's just do this. The potential is endless, guys. This is like, there are going to be a lot of coloring books out there being sold, so you're going to have to up your game. Aww. Looks like we've almost got little monsters in there, so it took a little creative license. I think it's supposed to be fish, but so you can play around with that. Add a couple of other things to kind of put it in the right direction. And then there's another little feature, and it doesn't have anything to do with the coloring books per se, but I showed it a little bit in yesterday's video. But if you go here, I'm sorry, if you go over, I think it's here, to this Clipart, and let's just say we use that same very simple and do 10 of those, then what I'm thinking about is maybe stickers, like have a sticker pack that comes along that's colors, like with a kids pack. Do the stickers and then also pair it with the little coloring book. So, yeah, you could do that with this. And just pick out the ones that, you know, these are kind of cute. Let's look and see what it changed that to. I mean, it's supposed to be it's a whimsical sailboat toy. Yeah. And I think because we use the kawaii style in there, that's probably why it did some of these crazy things. So let's try that again. And let's paste our original back in and see if we can get something a little bit more aligned to what we would do with the paste. Okay, let's take that out and just put cute sailboat toy like that, and then maybe sailboat toy. Let's put sticker on here and see if it'll do sticker. And I'm going to remove the white background because I think it's going to do that anyway. Let's see if it'll do us a little sticker pack. Because I think that this little clip art feature that does 10 at a time and just kind of randomly throws out some based on your prompt, I think that may be a really cool sticker feature. Like where you could come up with the images for stickers. And it looks like I did not do the 10 images for some reason. Okay, so we've got one. That's a cute little toy. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's putting it on wheels, but anyway. Yeah, So I think that would be sort of something you could do, maybe add a sticker pack or an activity pack. And that's something you can also do with the coloring feature, is you can do activity sheets or, things like that. You can also use it for creating like those little kids menu things that you print out, at holidays or whatever, and it has puzzles and different things like that. So anything you need that coloring book style line art for, coloring, you could use it for bookmarks. You could use it for, there's just so many things you can use that feature for. So use your imaginations, be creative, and remember my playbooks, because those are great for your clip art and your colorful images. I even have one out now that if you struggle sometimes to, we can all say make it red. And a lot of the earlier, the volume 1 and volume 2, they all have reference to and have the word banks and phrase banks that deal with color and texture and stuff like that. But I also have a volume 3 that is totally about color and how you can change the mood of something with the color. And a lot of my clip art uses color in a way that does set it apart. That's one of the things that can kind of differentiate you, is the richness of your colors. For instance, like with my golden fairies, and let me just show you some of these. Like, for instance, my princesses here, these vibrant colors and everything. All of those were created using, and the textures that were included, all these mossy textures and stuff like that most people wouldn't even think. Look at this moss here and how that is incorporated to elevate my images to where they're not just a plain old fairy. They're something very special. So thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something and you can go and make some money with this and elevate your shop. If you've been really wanting to do coloring books, if you had Artistly and you thought, I'd really like to do coloring books, but I don't have the patience to go through and remove all that gray stuff. Well, they have taken care of that for you. And if you don't have this program, oh my gosh, there are so many neat things. And I'm going to try to get around to all these different little features and kind of correlate them with how you can use these features to make money in your shop and with your digital products. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please leave me a comment. I love reading the comments. If you've enjoyed it, if you've got an idea, join my group on Facebook. There's a link to that. If you haven't gotten Artistly, it's time to get it. This program has arrived, and they're just going to continue to tweak it and add more things. And right now it just has such a suite of it's so much more than just an image creator. So it's outside of that realm now. It just has so many elements. So I have an affiliate link down in the description, and it doesn't cost you anything else to use it. So thank you for supporting me. For those that have used it and have purchased my playbooks, be sure and check them out. The volume 1 and 2 are bestsellers on Etsy. The others are well underway, the newer books. And I have a newsletter now. It comes out once a week, has lots of ideas, whether it's on AI art prompting or generation or something to do with marketing, getting more visibility, and helping you sell more products. So that's free, and I'd love for you to sign up for it. And anyway, just have a great day and happy creating, and I'll see you next time.